Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by ThinkGeek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 364. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And joining us later from the news desk will be Tiffany Electrify Nolan, and super producer Hitman will be showing up at various points throughout the evening. So Jay, what's going on? We're back. We had last week off.
We're back. Yeah, we had the holidays. We had my birthday. Actually, I think it was last week as well. So I had a lot going on, but not much now. Playing some video games again. Playing a lot of video games again, which has been nice. Yeah. What about you?
Well, we were on vacation. One of those. I think we were on vacation during your birthday, and then we had the 4th of July holiday. And actually, I'm on vacation again next week, so there will be no show next week. Lots of summer vacations.
I am on vacation the week after that, so there will be no show the week after, just so you know.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So, yeah.
So we're killing
some scheduling issues, but such is summer. And that's we kind of go through this every year. But if we can, we'll do the best to put on shows, even if someone is missing, but we cannot guarantee anything. And I guess just to keep the show moving, we'll jump right in the show proper, and we'll start with feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Sarah with an H comments. I have been meaning to write for a long time, but I procrastinated. I've been an avid listener since 2008, and your show literally makes my week. Thank you guys and Code Monkey for being the most solid thing in my life for the last 9 years. Look at Code getting a shout out.
Who's that guy? Code's a good dude. How is he? Have you talked to him still? I haven't even talked to him in a long time.
Oh yeah. I talk to him occasionally. I see him occasionally.
Dude, old school.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Nice.
And he did come on for episode 300, so maybe we'll get him around for episode 400.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I always love having him back.
Yes.
Maybe we'll start a magazine together. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll throw back.
But yes, thank you for the kind words, Sarah with a H. I keep wanting to say Sarah with an H, but I'm not sure if it's. Do you say a H or do you say an H?
An H?
Because H isn't a vowel, but it has a vowel sound. I don't know. Either way, thank you for your kind words, Sarah. See, now you're playing it on your head.
Yeah.
Sarah with an H.
I think I would say
like
an H.
If
I was to say
yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But when you write it, it looks right. Sarah with a H. Yes. I don't even know if that looks right. But either way, Sarah, we're not trying to throw you away after 9 years. So thank you for your kind words. All right, next. Arvis comments. Despite none of you going to E3 this year, I think your E3 episode was super solid. Now I feel like I went to E3.
You didn't want to kill yourself after like the second hour? I'm surprised.
Oh, we didn't even make 2 hours.
I know. I was really
under the 2 hour mark.
Which is so funny because you could tell how old we are now, right? We used to go to E3s and do like 4 hours of show, and now it's like I was tired by like 30 minutes in.
Well, this time too, we were only talking about the press conferences. We didn't have all the show floor stuff and parties to also include in our recap. So I think that kind of naturally shortened the show a little bit. But,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But either way, we're glad that you were able to give you that experience, Arvis.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and last but not least, Parker comments. A couple of friends of mine recommended your podcast, so I gave it a listen. I have no idea why they like your show.
I got to be honest with this comment. I agree with him. I'm not really sure why anyone likes this show either. I mean, it's fine, right? I mean, I think we're enjoyable to listen to for some people. I appreciate that. But I could see it from his perspective. You don't got to like the show. It's okay with me. Doesn't bother me. Right. Fuck you, though, right? Fuck you.
Fuck you, Parker. Yeah, we can say that. It's our show. We can say whatever we want. We didn't even have to put his comment here. But I put it here because it was not super mean. It was just slightly mean.
I know. I wish it was meaner. This is the problem with a comment like this. When it's like just borderline, it's not offensive enough to be funny, and therefore it falls flat for me.
Yeah, like this could have had, like this is totally set up to have a third sentence. Like a couple of friends of mine recommended your podcast, so I gave it a listen, period. I have no idea why they like your show, period. I feel like rinsing out my ears with bleach. Fuck yourself.
Yes,
period.
that would be
like
amazing.
That kind of third sentence is what
like
it
I
needed,
didn't know that audio could give me cancer. Then okay, done. I get it. But
you kind of there was the bump and there was the set, but there was no spike. So Parker, you fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked.
Fuck yourself. Fuck off.
Glad to have you listening to the show, though.
Exactly.
Glad to have you on board.
If any of you have awesome feedback like Sarah with the H or Arvis, or douchey feedback like Parker, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Joel Dude I Rock Albert, what have you been playing this week?
Overwatch, but I have been playing a ton of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. It's such a great
pop-up
game
for you.
Oh, love it. Oh, and I'll tell you this. I got to thank BC personally because I got a pair of these Lucent Sounds. He's the one that turned me onto them ages ago. But I finally bought a pair, and they're the shit. And the only reason I bring it up is because in PlayerUnknown, you need to hear the footsteps. And I had for years, I never had a headset. And finally bought this so I can hear the footsteps, and it is the cleanest sound ever. And if you guys don't know BC Kinetic, he turned him. Yeah, turned. Well, BC, to be fair, was the beginning of letting me in on the Lucent sound technology. But they're awesome. So I suggest if you guys want to play video games, buy those. That's my review for you. My 1 second review.
I don't understand how they get their headset to sound so good, but it sounds
so good.
Day and night better than anything else out there. I'm really not sure how, but
no. And for the price, I think I got them on a lightning sale for $100. I think they're normally $150. For $100 pair of for a headset, that's the sound quality you get is just amazing for that kind of price. So,
it can't be beat.
Big thumbs up. What about you?
Well, I've been playing some Overwatch. And just Pokemon Go in my spare time. But yeah, Overwatch has been my primary game of choice. I keep meaning to pick up PUBG, and this could be the week that I do. Who knows? I don't know. I see everybody playing it. I heard good things. I've played every other Battle Royale game out there, from the culling to H1Z1 to you name it. So I might as well give that a shot too.
Honestly, I mean, it is one thing I think you'll hate about it, but it's not a run and gun.
None of these are. That's the
right.
Part
That's the point.
Problems with these games.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you maybe shoot. I've said it before. But you maybe get into 1 to 3 firefights per gaming session, if that, and it could be it could be 30 minutes of positioning strategy, where you want to be, the gear you're trying to gather, and then 2 minutes of a firefight, and then you're dead and it's over. So. It's hard to get used to, but if you're playing with a squad, I think that's where it really shines. I don't like this solo, although I played today and had a decent amount of fun. But with a squad, it's great because you're really vying for your position the entire time, what it's going to take to actually win, right? Like where you should go, what's a risk and what's not. I love that aspect because then it's not always down to, are you the best FPS player? I feel like anyone could play PlayerUnknown and not necessarily be the best shot in the world, but still win that game. I think that is what we're seeing is the really important style of game that's coming out with Battleground style games. Is you don't need to be the man. You can play the strategy
and position and
and you can do well. I mean, you still have to know how to shoot at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if you roll up on 2 guys in a corner and they don't see you, you're gonna slaughter them before they can turn around and do any sort of reaction time. So I definitely suggest it. Go pick it up. It's in alpha, but it honestly plays like a late stage beta. And it's coming out for Xbox One at some point, I think, as well.
Yep.
So
it's announced during the press conference. So.
Yeah. So it'll be out there. Yeah, give it a shot.
Nice. And I see that Hitman modified the outline to include himself and Tiff in here with what they're playing. So why don't we ask you guys, Tiff, what are you playing this week?
Oh, I saw. Whoa, we got crazy spam going on in our channel.
Oh yeah.
So some Overwatch, and we need to kick out these guys. Wow, that is some crazy
That's
ass
awesome.
shit.
Hit, you're on this,
Well,
right?
there is like a pack of them in there. That is fucking crazy.
This is
Yeah,
great.
we just had 20 people join the channel and go nuts in here.
Yeah,
Yes.
sweet.
Yay for spammers.
Yes.
This is pretty awesome.
The problems with
Um,
being popular.
I guess so. I guess we've made it now, right?
Sure. Why not?
So yeah, I've also been playing some Overwatch, and we picked up Life is Strange on the Xbox Gold sale. So I picked that up pretty cheap. Played through the first episode of that,
Mhm.
and
Nice.
then some Pokemon Go, off and on.
All right. Good stuff.
What about you, Hit? What are you playing?
Oh, give me a
It's
second there.
multitasking.
Yeah, I have to unmute my mic.
It's still trying to deal with.
Yeah, that too. What have I been playing? Pokemon Go. Friday the 13th, of course. I've been playing a shit ton of Friday the 13th. Player Unknowns, and I forgot what else I put in the outline. There was one more. Oh, Mario Kart. Killing it on Mario Kart right now.
So are you really liking you're liking Friday the 13th? It's a good game because it was
Yeah.
on my list. Is it like
Especially if
multiplayer?
you play, it's only multiplayer.
It's only multiplayer?
Yeah, if you play with like a group of people, it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that's me. That's
Interesting.
it.
Right on.
All right. Fair enough. Then I guess normally we would move on to the new releases here, but we'll slow play it while Hit keeps banning people that are somehow calling him bald. I'm not even sure how they saw Hit, but this is so bizarre. But there's no new releases out this week. So it is that summer slump in July. So we will move right on over into gaming news. So Tiff, what's going on with you? You ready to do some news tonight?
I sure am.
All right. Well, then let's just hit the ground running with the first story.
Nintendo Switch Online smartphone app launching July 21st, and this comes from Gamma Sutra. The smartphone app, to which Nintendo has delegated the bulk of the Switch's online services, has been dated for a July 21st release, right alongside the launch of Splatoon 2. Rather than manage certain aspects of online services through the console itself, the Nintendo Switch Online app handles most of the nitty-gritty organizational bits of online play via smartphones, giving players the ability to invite friends to online matches, set play appointments, and use voice chat. As showcased during a Splatoon 2 themed Nintendo Direct, the Nintendo Switch Online app will also have game-specific features such as, in Splatoon 2's case, access to in-game item shops or statistics from a player's mobile device. Though the app is due out later this month, Nintendo has reaffirmed that it has no plans to charge for the service until the start of 2018. After the end of this free trial period, players will have to shell out for a paid subscription, priced between $3.99 a month and $19.99 for a full year. So, what do you guys think about this?
You know, this whole app thing is super silly. Like, it seems so half-assed. I don't understand. Like,
Well, so for me, I mean, the big thing about it is it seems weird. Obviously, it seems weird to move all of your chat and social onto a mobile app. But in the same respect, because they're making such a move into mobile, like at least Nintendo is making this move to try to put more of their stuff on mobile, it does kind of make sense to decentralize it and put it somewhere that's, you can take anywhere with you. I think the benefit of that is that even if you're not on your Switch, you still have like all of your voice chat and all your friends list and everything already on your mobile device. But it would make just as much sense to have it on the console, but then also have it on the mobile device. So like, I don't know why you wouldn't just have both.
yeah, like there was no reason that this shouldn't have been built into the operating system of the Switch itself, unless at the time they didn't decide to put this in, and now it's too late to do like a full blown like maybe it's not easy to add that to the operating system at this point. I don't know. I just don't understand how you go through the console development process and don't think about this in advance of it. You're just
Well, I think they had to.
oh yeah, we should have done multiplayer stuff. Let's just tie it in with a phone app, or like
But
I don't
that's
understand.
the thing. Is I think you have to assume that they always knew that they were going to do this. That's the thing about it. So they must have a reasoning behind it that isn't related to, can the console do it or not? I'm sure the console could do it just fine. I'm sure it can handle the processing power of having at least voice chat. I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Oh yeah, no, that's no brainer.
Yeah, so I think it must rely on the fact that they see the phone as a great way to sort of be this thing that people can take with them, obviously, and do a lot of the chat stuff, even when they're not on the system. If you look at the Switch, obviously it's meant to be a mobile system. Like the whole point of it is you can move it from place to
take
place.
it with you.
Yeah, it's a whole place. Yeah. So the idea that you're going to have your Switch with you and also have a phone, you can be pretty much 99% sure that's going to happen. So in that respect, it would be nice, and it's probably going to be nice to be able to take the phone with you. And if you want to, you could play multiplayer if you have a wireless connection somewhere, or even tether your phone, but still be able to talk on the phone that you already have with you. So I actually do see it as a big benefit. I just don't know why it wouldn't be on both, the option to take the phone with you or plug directly into your Switch and speak from there. So I mean, I get it.
Tether to the phone and then put the features into the console. Like, I know I guess it's good that it's coming and it brings some much needed missing features. And there is some cool stuff like that you only get by having it on a phone. Like what they're saying with Splatoon, where it said, as in Splatoon 2's case, access to in-game item shops or statistics from a player's mobile device. So now you're able to, while you're using your Switch to actually play the game, you can flip over to your phone and be doing this inventory management and shop stuff and all that directly from the phone. So I guess that's the one upside of it, but it still seems hokey to me. But at least it's priced. It's priced for the hokiness. So, all right.
Yep.
Next story.
Halo 5 will run in true 4K on Xbox One X, and this comes from Joystick X and Gadget. Halo 5 is getting the true 4K treatment with the Xbox One X. During Halo 5's pre-release hype cycle, Microsoft that it was so focused on hitting 60 frames per second with the game that there weren't any sacred cows, including split-screen co-op, a series staple. Maybe don't expect that to run with the Xbox One X's more powerful innards, though. More than that, by year's end, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4 will all be backwards compatible on Xbox One. You know, if you didn't already own the Master Chief Collection of remasters. In a blog post, Microsoft says that every Xbox 360 add-on map pack will be made free on the Xbox Store. You'll even be able to hook an Ethernet cord between Xbox Ones and Xbox 360s for a cross-generation LAN party if you're so inclined. Microsoft is teasing even more for this year. 2017 is Halo 3's 10th anniversary, after all, and you can catch all the details on Halo Waypoint. So, what do you guys think about this?
It's good news. I mean, I no longer really right, exactly. Like I don't really care about it anymore. So it's one of those things where, like, even when they made the announcement that everything's going to be backward compat, I think it pissed more people off than made people excited, because if you bought MCC, it felt like a kick in the face in a weird way. Like you've already bought the game that they failed to make work, that everyone was so excited for, and they shit all over it, and then decided, well, we really don't want to spend time fixing it, so we're going to make the backwards compat for you guys. So if you have it, you can download it again and maybe try this instead. I don't really see that as like a huge benefit, and I definitely don't see it as like a plus. I mean, maybe if you didn't buy MCC, you can now get in on playing the games that you loved without having to go through that fucking hot mess piece of shit game. So, yeah, that's good. But other than that, it's not really. I'm not impressed by Halo 5 at 4K. I mean, it's yay.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and if like I'll definitely go back and see what it looks like and check it out. But I think, and this wasn't what I was going to talk about, but what you're saying about why people care about the back compat versus the MCC, I don't think that the versions of the game in MCC support system link play. So I think that's when they, like during the press conference, when they were saying, you could have someone on Xbox One X playing with someone on Xbox One, playing with someone on Xbox 360, playing with someone on the original Xbox. I think the only way that works is if you're playing with the original software. I don't think that that's part of the Master Chief Collection. So at least that part's a little different. because MCC had the remastered version of Halo 2, right? Yeah. So because we already had the Halo 1 redone. So Master Chief Collection brought Halo 2 remastered, had the original versions of Halo 3 and Halo 4, but they didn't have the system link play. So I guess that's the one upside of that is if you want to throw some LAN party action, you need the back
that part's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many people are really like having people over? It's the thing is like with the advent of online gaming and how seamless it's become, unfortunately, we used to do it all the time when we were younger, but now we don't have LANs like where people hook shit up and it's very rare. So while that's cool, it's also like, again, not like a huge thing. I don't look at it as like a big deal. I actually agree with Hit. Like it's a story that's almost like a non-story. When they announced it, I was just like, who gives it? Do people care about this shit now? I mean, I don't. With MCC being such a flop, it really pushed, I think, a lot of people in the wrong direction and to almost not care about old Halo. But you're certainly going to have the people that love the Halo series and grew up on Halo 2 like we did that are going to be super down with this. So for them, I think it's great. If you haven't moved on in your gaming life and you still are holding on to the glory days of Halo 2, then maybe that's cool. But I gave that up a lot.
I could easily see if we did another LAN event that there would be a point where Halo 2 would be slipped into plenty of Xbox Ones and played system link style like the old days. I could easily see that happening, but who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Next story.
2 years in, Steam is Rocket League's least popular platform, and this comes from Gamasutra. Only roughly a quarter of active Rocket League players play the game from Steam on PC, while the majority of active players from the last year, in this case 41%, favor the PlayStation 4 version. This information comes by way of an infographic from the game's developer that details how the multi-platform car-powered soccer game is faring after 2 years out in the world. The fact that Psyonix listed the PlayStation 4 as the most popular Rocket League platform isn't exactly surprising, since the company put the game up for free through Sony's PlayStation Plus program right at launch. But what some may find interesting is that the PC isn't the game's second most popular platform. Instead, 32% of active players in the past year preferred the Xbox One, while only 27% frequented the Steam version of the game. At 2 years out from release, the game has surpassed 33 million players as well, and despite its age, Psyonix says that Rocket League still saw an average of 6.1 million players a month over the past year, which breaks down to an average of 1.6 million players a day across PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. Those numbers come just ahead of Rocket League's Nintendo Switch release, and as the game is on the verge of opening up cross-platform online multiplayer between nearly all of its versions. Notably, and I know Derek's going to comment on this, the PlayStation 4 is the only platform not included in Rocket League's cross-platform feature, given Sony's apprehension, but exposing its users to influences outside of the PlayStation curated universe. So what do you guys think about this? Especially the Sony part.
First, I was surprised that Steam wasn't the number one. Having launched there first, I really thought it would have been.
You were? I don't know. I don't think I was surprised. The thing with Rocket League has always been for me that it's a really, you don't need a huge machine to play it. It's really kind of playable anywhere. It takes very little to play it. And I don't mean in terms of the skill, because there's a lot of skill involved, but like, it's one of those games where it's super easy to pick up. I think it lends itself really well to consoles because a console controller for driving, I think, is usually better in most cases.
Keyboard and mouse, yeah.
Yeah, so in a lot of ways, it doesn't surprise me when you couple that with the fact that on Sony, it was free. So you sort of get this like install base where everyone's going to at least download it to try it. And even if they never play it, it's going to appear at least to be the preferred system of play. I'd be interested to know if it's concurrent on PlayStation that has those numbers, or if it's just downloads. Because if it's just downloads,
like overall downloads,
yeah, like I'm not super impressed by those numbers. But again, it's also been on Steam way longer, so you should see the die down happen on Steam well before you see any die down on PS4. It's going to grow on PS4 simply because it's a new game to them, and same with Xbox. So
okay,
I don't think the numbers really shock me.
Let's look at it this way: PlayStation had it for free, and they had it first among consoles. It wasn't until 9 months later that it showed up on Xbox. So that really says something about what was the number? 32% of active players. Well, they're saying active players actually. So that's definitely active. So it's not just people that download it or whatever, but 32% on Xbox, where people had to go out and pay money for it, is a pretty impressive number, actually.
It is. I think it totally is. I mean, I think, but again, I think like the impetus to that is just the newness of it. I'm not saying that I think it's going to die down and that Steam's going to come back up. I do think because it's an older game, the PC crowd has kind of moved on. In fact, it's funny how fast the PC crowd seems to move in that like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is sort of something that came out. First, it was H1Z1, and then their Battlegrounds version, and now this new Battlegrounds comes out from the guy that actually made the H1Z1 mod, and it's 60 times more popular than H1Z1's is. Pretty much overnight, I think within 3 months, it's sold 4 million copies. So it's like the volatility of PC and the fact that it's no longer the new darling doesn't really surprise me. Whereas I think things are a little more stable on console. I think games have a little bit more longevity in general on console, unless you're talking like something like WoW or League of Legends, which they're they're going to be
PC centric no matter what.
Yeah, and they're always going to be popular in some form or fashion. So, but it's still an interesting story, and it's cool to see. It'll be cool to see what happens when it's released on Switch. Like, will people gravitate to something which I consider could be a great mobile game? Rocket League seems so perfect to have in your pocket. So I don't know.
But at the same time, well, and this kind of also plays in what Tiff was saying. First off, it's not really a mobile game because you need to tether your Switch to something to play it. You can't just be out there on your Switch and play Rocket League. It's a multiplayer game, so you need an internet connection for it. That said, that is part of the huge ecosystem of Rocket League that everybody is in on now, except for Sony, because they gave this bullshit excuse that they curate their universe well, and anyone that's ever played a multiplayer game on the PlayStation knows that it's curated as well as any of these others. There's the same racists and haters and assholes, and they're all still there. So Sony's real reason is we don't want to play with the other guys because that gives you the choice to then buy their console and still play with your friends on our console. It's a self-serving reason, and it's bullshit. And I don't care what they say and how they try to spin this.
I agree.
But if Nintendo, the ultimate family-friendly company that used friend codes because they didn't trust people to add people from other ways, if they're going to let you play with people online on all these other platforms, then Sony sure as shit has no reason not to. But
very true. Very true.
I hopefully the Switch, we also don't know what the data usage is going to be on the Switch stuff. Like, if you tether it to your phone, is it enough to play Rocket League? Because if it's not, then it's a nice portable game for your couch, but it's not a portable game for anywhere else.
I mean, I would be very shocked if it wasn't, because I've played literally Destiny on an Xbox One tethered to my phone, and it's totally fine. I've played Crucible, which you would want obviously the best ping and the best response time possible. The way that with LTE networks now, it is totally reliable to play a video game on your phone. Assuming you can tether your phone to your Xbox, but it's really quite easy to do if it's wireless. So I don't see, I actually see this as being a really easy thing for Nintendo to do, to have mobile multiplayer gaming right in your pocket at any time that you want. So like Hit, for instance, I know Hit takes his Switch with him, like on the train and stuff like that. I'm just looking for a nod. Have you ever done tethering to the Switch to play? You have. Okay. So he's nodding for people that can't see. Yeah. And I'm sure it works fine, right? I mean, maybe in some locations it works like shit. But yeah.
The other thing you have to worry about, though, is people's data caps for that they pay their cell phone companies for. So is it worth you pushing through all of your data to play Rocket League and burn through your data? So that's the other question, is how much data is it using? What's your data plan, et cetera, et cetera. But
yeah, well, I'll tell you this again. I played, this is personal experience. I played on a train that was a 14-hour train ride all the way to Washington, D.C. I played Destiny the entire time there, and the data usage is so low that I would spend more time losing data to being on Reddit than I would be playing Destiny full time for 3 hours at a clip. So, I think it's no big deal.
Fair enough. All right. Good stuff. All right. Next story.
We are on to this week's What the Fuck story. Overwatch League reportedly adds Robert Kraft and Fred Wilpon, and this comes from Heroes Never Die. According to a report by ESPN from Thursday, Blizzard has reportedly secured 6 agreements with teams for Overwatch League franchises in the cities of Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Boston, Shanghai, and Seoul, South Korea. The Boston franchise, ESPN reports, has been secured by Kraft Sports Group, the company behind the NFL's New England Patriots. Meanwhile, according to ESPN, the New York franchise will be handled by Fred Wilpon, the owner of the New York Mets Major League Baseball team. This builds on earlier reporting from ESPN that states that the Los Angeles spot was acquired by the Immortals esports organization, who have prominent teams in both League of Legends and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and were the winners of North America's Overwatch Contenders Season 0 tournament. Reportedly, Immortals acquired their Los Angeles location for a $20 million buy-in. The same price was reportedly paid for NRG Esports' San Francisco-based spot. There's no word yet on who has purchased the agreements for Seoul and Shanghai. Wow. So this is a little weird. So I'm hoping you guys can talk through this a little bit.
This is crazy. Like, it started out normal. It started out completely normal. Like, you have the Immortals picking up an esports team because they're already a team. So they pick up a team in this league. That makes perfect sense. Makes sense that the NRG Esports picks up a team because they're already in the esports business. But now we got my boy, Robert Kraft from the fucking Patriots picking up a team. We got the Mets picking up a team. This is... We've now dipped completely out of the realm of traditional esports at this point.
Well, that's why I think this is so awesome, frankly, because
it is. It's a fucked up awesome story.
It's a fucked up awesome. It's definitely what the fuck, but in the same respect, it really is just showing that finally gaming is entering a mainstream on the business side of things. I think gaming is well over being in the mainstream in terms of just everyday life, the people you meet. I have friends that I work with and friends that are in the office. They all play video games or know of video games. They can recite titles of games even if they're not playing video games. So I think that level of saturation is already there in terms of popularity. But on the business side, I have people making such large investments from a sports franchise, which I think is the most important part about this story, just shows that they're looking at it long term. And I don't think it'll be popular in that respect for a while, but I think they're making these early investments now because they know that it's going that direction. They know that esports will at some time command a large audience as people like Derek and I and Hit and Tiff grow older and our kids grow up all playing video games. There's going to be because right now there's that saturation point. If you ask my dad what Halo is, he's going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Right. So that generation still is so sort of far off. But as we grow older and our kids play video games, it's going to be the norm. And watching someone play games doesn't seem as crazy anymore, especially with Twitch and things like that and commentary happening on a daily basis. So I think it's it's like the most awesome what the fuck story that we've ever had.
It is. There's also still some weird things here because, like, this is a really specific esports buy-in. This is for literally a league for Overwatch. There's only 6 teams in it, and they've bought in for one of these teams for $20 million. So it's not like then you're already in a league with you can't have your League of Legends team and all this other stuff. You have an Overwatch team, and as much as I love Overwatch, I'll tell you, it is not. It's a game built without a spectator mode, like a good spectator mode. It's like you can flip around and spectate, but it's not. Some of these games that were built for esports have a much better streaming type, I don't know, layout and UI. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you describe it. Like there's games that knew that they were wanted to be an esports game, and they built in a separate mode for viewing that has kind of scoreboards and all this other stuff and can automatically seamlessly switch. So you're getting somewhere where people are, coming into conflict with one another. Where Overwatch, you're literally watching the same view that the guy playing has, which is cool too. And it's a learning thing, but it's not that same kind of, let me step back from the action and watch it all from a drone almost, which I think is going to be key. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if Overwatch adds this sometime before this league really kicks into play. But I think that's going to be a necessity to have this appeal to more of the masses versus just other gamers. You're talking, but no one hears you.
Oh, weird. Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think that really just because there are those missing components that you're talking about that aren't maybe there yet, but I definitely feel like if anyone's going to do it, Blizzard can do that. Like, I think they're in a position right now with the popularity of Overwatch, but also just the popularity of all of their games, Hearthstone, et cetera, that they're thinking about those things. And I think we'll absolutely see that in the relative future. But again, I think this is early. That's my biggest thing is I don't think we're at a point yet to know what's really going to happen with everyone paying these large franchise fees. I think it's going to be a while, but it's just, I think it's showing like this getting in the ground floor and knowing that at some point in time, this will be the thing or will be a thing, maybe not on the level of NFL or maybe not on the level of basketball even, or maybe baseball, but certainly as time goes on, 20 years from now, et cetera, I think this is going to be just a mainstay.
That part I don't doubt.
Yeah.
And this time around, I think what's different is like we've covered stories about this before. Like my friend Eliza Dushku's husband, Rick Fox. We covered a story a couple months ago where he invested in a pro gaming team and was funding them for millions of dollars. Now, granted, they were not limited to a single league. They're whatever. They play all different kinds of games and all kinds of different tournaments. But he's relatively more hip than Kraft and Fred Wilpon. Like these guys are old guys. Now, granted, Robert Kraft has Jonathan Kraft, his son there.
Right.
His son is no spring chicken either. So the fact that those two came together and felt like, this is a worthwhile investment goes to show that now we've breached out of our closed universe and we're kind of dipping into the age demographic that's not the demographic that this usually hits. And that's the part that's
But I think, and what I think is really one thing you touched on. So I think the guy that really made that a possibility is probably Mark Cuban because he's in that same field as all these old guys, but he was really the first like billionaire to put tons of money towards gaming, to really like step out and be like, look, I own the Mavs and that's great and all, but I see where technology is going, and obviously him being a technologist and really just trying to push other people that have money or use it as a footprint and say, hey, look, guys, I'm putting my money into this. I think a lot of that is because of him. I think a lot of that is just people sort of seeing where the money is going and being like, I don't want to be left out in the cold if and when this thing becomes as popular as it's going to need to be. So, this is a cool story. It's a cool what the fuck story.
Absolutely.
Derek, what do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And that we'll hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails. And Altius's Corner. Altius asks, the Nintendo Switch has now been available for 4 months, yet it's still hard to find with the exception of overpriced bundles. Why do you think Nintendo has so much trouble keeping up with the demand for their products?
I don't know, man. Like this, I saw this. Yeah, like I saw this.
Brilliant bit of insight, Jay. I was waiting to see. I saw you about to speak, and I thought you were gonna have a good answer. But.
Well, no, because the reason it took me a while is because I've been thinking about this like for so long, and not just for this question. Obviously, this question is a great question, but like for every year that they put out a fucking system, this happens every fucking time. Like it never fails that they have a shortage. And even when the Wii U came out, it wasn't as bad, but there was like a little bit of a shortage there too. And it was the console that nobody bought. So it's like how you have to think at this point that they're doing it on purpose, I guess is the conclusion I'm coming to.
That is my conclusion. So I'm glad we came to the same one because I felt that way with the NES Classic. Like there was no reason why this cookie cutter device couldn't have just been
so easy to manufacture, man. Come on.
It's not even on the same order of as a real console. Like it's literally like a circuit board inside with all these games on a ROM and a plastic case, and boom, you could have that factory putting out 1 million of these a day. But they're like, I feel like Nintendo still operates on this really old model where they feel like scarcity equals popularity. And that's cool and all. Like, one thing, if people want your shit and they can't get it, that makes it really cool. But you know what else is a cool thing? Being in business and selling the thing that people want. Like, it's one thing to have them want it, but it's much better to be like, if a million more people want your shit and you have a million more to sell, well, that helps your investors and your stock price and your bottom line. Like, I don't understand. And maybe it's a Japanese company thing. I don't know, but Nintendo keeps doing this.
So Hit brought it up in chat, which is I think this is what that normally comes out, is that it's because they're fighting with components for Apple, and Apple is essentially overtaking the Chinese manufacturing market for a lot of the components that they build. They share some parity there. I could kind of believe that, but
that doesn't
even on that
explain things like the NES Classic. Like,
right, that's
my their products.
Like, how
it's not
the NES
products with screens. It's not products with memory. It's all of their products.
Right. Well, I mean, that's my big, and again, if it would have only happened with just this, I would say, okay, maybe that's the case. But again, it happened with the Wii U. It's happened with the Wii. It happens with their handhelds.
It happens with their Pro controllers.
Right.
Like, those things for a while you couldn't get. It's a piece of plastic. Like, it doesn't make
with a
sense.
circuit board that's this big and some dongles in it. Right. Like, I mean, I don't see how Xbox can get away with it, how PS4 can get away with it. Every other company that's building a console right now can push their product faster than people can even buy them. And again, in the past, we did see that with Xbox and PlayStation. You used to go on Christmas and they'd sell out, but that doesn't happen anymore. They learned from this.
Now they know how to produce the insane quantities of these things. Like, even back as far as the 360 and the PS3. They could not keep up with demand. And then they made changes to how they do manufacturing and how they work with China and everything else. And nowadays, you don't have these problems anymore. Like, if you don't want these problems, you don't have to have them, which is what leads me to believe that Nintendo wants these problems.
Yeah, I think so.
They've picked a number that they're happy to sell. They're like, oh, we sold that much. Good job, us. But if investors knew this, they wouldn't want to be investors, because you should want to be able to make as much money as possible, not just, I don't know. I don't
know. I mean, again, it's a great question. I think it's a question that everyone has asked, like, to somebody a million times over, and will continue to ask as things go on. But at this point, if you were to look at the track record, I feel like you can only assume it's because they're doing it on purpose. That's just the only conclusion I can derive from all of this, is that they have to be doing this on purpose, because it just doesn't make sense financially for them to do this, to hurt themselves this badly.
No, exactly.
I don't know, man. Good question.
It's fucked up. But that is a good question, Altius, as always. If any of you ever want to dip into Altius's realm and come up with some kind of fucking question that's so awesome and makes us really think and really pontificate on stuff, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help support Still Got Game. So we got two sponsors, kind of half-assed about them. It's Think Geek and the Craft Beer Club. They're both great things. Like, I still buy tons of shit from Think Geek. I don't often buy stuff from the Craft Beer Club, but you know what? These guys don't. Somehow in our relationship, we advertise, and we know we have tons of you out there, and either you just don't give a fuck and don't buy stuff from them, or they falsely report what we actually do through them. Because it's hard to believe that when you advertise for something for years and you make $0 from it, something seems suspect. Like, even I myself have ordered through our ThinkGeek link, which in theory should have given me some kickback from myself, and that didn't happen. So I don't understand. But if you're going to buy something from ThinkGeek, go to tooltoplay.com/geek. If you're going to buy some craft beer shit, go to tooltoplay.com/beer and help us out until we find better sponsors. Speaking of better sponsors, if you want to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you what you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, god of everything that's fucking holy, at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And you can find me at twitter.com/DrewDieRock.
You can find me at twitter.com/electrify.
Twitter.com/I6Hitman.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool to play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/dude-eyebrow.
I don't even know what that was. It was a dude eyebrow.
That's what I heard
Facebook. Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan.
Facebook.com/Isaac's Hitman.
We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tool to Play. That is where Tool to Play puts all of our archive video content, whether it's episodes of this show, Tiff's immature interviews, Hits Quick Hits, which he keeps promising is coming back many times on this show live, many times on Twitter he's promised, and he keeps fucking you up the ass. Do not let him do that anymore, because Hits, he's a barebacker, man. Just make sure he brings back Hits Quick Hits. So tell him on Twitter, i6Hitman. Tell him on Facebook, i6Hitman. Tell him here, give him the show comments. If you want Hits Quick Hits to come back, you have to let him know, because otherwise he'll keep fucking you. Like, that's what he's going to do. He's used to it now. You guys are in a relationship where he just, he gets you from behind. So if you want Hits Quick Hits to come back and show up on our YouTube channel, let Hit know. And also on there, old shows like Thick and Thin with LB Duty featuring i6Hitman, and plenty of our other content, live videos from games, from unboxings, whatever. It's all on there. So go to youtube.com/tool to play and subscribe. We also need you to rate and review this podcast on iTunes. So head over there, search up Still Got Game, give us a 5-star review. And if you have an extra 5 seconds, which is all it takes, write a little something on there. Hey, nice show. Love you guys. You're the best. Whatever. Yeah, you can even write 5 stars and go whatever. We don't even care. Just put some kind of review up there and help us out. We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. That's where Tool to Play does all of our live broadcasting. So whether Hit's broadcasting from his Watchtower games, whether I'm broadcasting from Derek Nolan, whatever's happening, our Twitch Tool to Play Twitch channel covers all that. It picks up one of us up. It broadcasts our shit. Sometimes we broadcast direct there. All of our content is cranking out that channel, and that's where you can go and you can follow us there, and you'll definitely be notified whenever we go live, and you'll get full fucking Tool to Play coverage. Like, I'm broadcasting Overwatch there most nights. It's good shit. But in addition to following us there, there's also another button. It's the subscribe button. And that's how you really help the show out. Fuck the sponsors. You go there, you click subscribe, $4.99, and you actually help the show. That goes directly to us. So that's the button you want to hit. And you know what? You're like, $4.99 is too much for me, man. I got to go get a coffee this week. Like, forget this month. Like, whatever your reason is, $4.99 is somehow too much for you. Well, guess what? Are you an Amazon Prime subscriber? Of course you are, because you'd have to be an idiot not to be, because you pay one fee and you get free shipping all year for all the shit you buy from Amazon. So if you are Amazon Prime, then you're also Twitch Prime. And you know what Twitch Prime lets you do? Once a month, you can pick any Twitch channel you want, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. You can go there and you can subscribe absolutely free with that subscription. So now you're giving us the $4.99. It's costing you nothing. It's coming from Amazon. They're paying themselves to pay us, and it costs you nothing. The catch is, each month you have to go back and do it again, because they don't want someone to subscribe for free and then pay it ad infinitum for the rest of forever. No, you're going to have to go back once a month, but is that really too much work? Well, for you guys, it seems like too much, because you can't even go fucking click on our links or whatever. But fuck you guys. Anyway, you can go there absolutely free, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. Use your Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime subscription, and costs you nothing, and you help us out. So please do that. And before we wrap up, I remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. And on that, why don't we wrap this fucking awesome episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
I'm Tiffany Electrify Nolan.
I am Roger Hitman Roken.
And we are out.